Swanage is a coastal town and civil parish in the southeast of Dorset, England. It is situated at the eastern end of the Isle of Purbeck, approximately 10 kilometres south of Poole and 40 km east of Dorchester. The parish has a population of 9,601. Nearby are Ballard Down and Old Harry Rocks, with Studland Bay and Poole Harbour to the north. Within the parish are Durlston Bay and Durlston Country Park to the south of the town. The parish also includes the areas of Herston, just to the west of the town, and Durlston, just to the south. The town, originally a small port and fishing village, flourished in the Victorian era, when it first became a significant quarrying port and later a seaside resort for the rich of the day. Today the town remains a popular tourist resort, this being the town's primary industry, with many thousands of visitors coming to the town during the peak summer season, drawn by the bay's sandy beaches and other attractions. During its history the bay was listed variously as SWON-ij, Swanage, Sandwich, and only in more recent history as Swanage. The town is located at the eastern end of the Jurassic Coast, a World Heritage Site. History: while fishing is likely the town's oldest industry, quarrying has been important to the town and the local area since at least the 1st century AD. During the time of the Roman occupation this industry grew, with the distinctive Purbeck marble being used for decorative purposes in buildings as far away as London. When the Romans left Britain, quarrying largely ceased until the 12th century. The town is first mentioned in historical texts in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle of 877 AD. It is stated as being the scene of a great naval victory by King Alfred over the Danes. This year came the Danish army into Exeter from Warham. Whilst the navy sailed west about, until they met with a great mist at sea, and there perished 120 ships at Swanage. 100 Danish ships which had survived the battle were driven by a storm onto Peveril Point, a shallow rocky reef outcropping from the southern end of Swanage Bay. A monument topped by cannonballs was built in 1882 by John Mowlem to celebrate this event and is situated at the southern end of the seafront promenade. In the 12th century demand for Purbeck marble grew once again. While Purbeck marble is not suited to external use, as it does not weather well, it is however strong and suitably decorative for use as internal columns. As such the stone was used in the construction of many large churches and cathedrals being built as the time. In contrast to the decorative Purbeck marble, Purbeck limestone, or more commonly Purbeck stone, has been used in construction locally since the early days of quarrying in Purbeck. Its use is less well documented as it was taken for granted as the default construction materials in the area. However, the arrival of more modern quarrying techniques in the 17th century resulted in an increase in production. The Great Fire of London in 1666 led to a period of large-scale reconstruction in the city, and Purbeck stone was extensively used for paving. It was in this time that stone first started being loaded upon ships directly from the Swanage seafront. Before this time quarried stone had been first transported to Poole for shipping. The idea that Swanage could become a tourist destination was first encouraged by a local MP William Morton Pitt in the early 19th century, who converted a mansion in the town into a luxury hotel. The hotel is noted for having been visited in 1833 by the Princess Victoria, later to become Queen. The building was later renamed the Royal Victoria Hotel. Now the building has been converted into flats and a bar and nightclub in the left and right wings respectively. Mowlem and Burt, the Victorian era, the town's greatest prominence came during the Victorian period. John Mowlem, a Swanage resident, became a successful builder in London, creating the Mowlem Construction Company, which still existed as recently as 2006, when it was acquired by another company. John Mowlem made his business in London by importing stone into the city from around the country, including Purbeck limestone. Through this process, many relics and monuments were brought from London to Swanage in the 19th century by Mowlem and his nephew George Burt, who took over the business when Mowlem retired. It is said that these items brought from London were used as ballast for the empty vessels which transported the Purbeck stone to London. These include the big clock tower near Peveril Point. The clock tower, commemorating the Duke of Wellington, designed by Arthur Ashpittle, was built in 1854 at the southern approach to the Old London Bridge. Within 10 years it became an obstruction to traffic on the busy bridge and had to be removed. It was re-erected 1867-68 on its present site at the southern end of the bay on the seafront. A further item transported from London to Swanage is the 1864 Section 8 of the Mercers' Hall, that was used as the 4th Section 8 of the Swanage Town Hall, which was designed by G. Crickmay of Weymouth, and built during the early 1880s. Both John Mowlem and George Burt were highly influential in the development of the town, taking an active interest in their town of birth into retirement. Between them they were responsible for the building of much of the town's infrastructure, including the town's first pier, the Mowlem Institute, the first gas and water works, and the development of the Durlston Estate and Country Park, at the southern end of the town. The Great Globe, which can be found slightly south of Durlston Castle, both also designed by Crickmay, in the Durlston Country Park, was completed by George Burt in 1887. It is made up of 15 sections of stone and joined together with granite aisles. The Great Globe weighs 40 tons and is 10 feet in diameter. Swanage Lighthouse was built in 1880, on the cliff top at Anvil Point, not far away from Durlston Castle. Railway was introduced to the town in 1885 with the encouragement of George Burt by the London and South Western Railway Company. By this time the town was becoming a popular resort destination for the wealthy, noted for its fine weather and clean air. The town previously had been fairly cut off due to its valley location, but the introduction of the railway made the town much more accessible to visitors, with direct services running from London. However, the greatest increase in visitors came with the building of the second new pier in 1895, built primarily for use by pleasure steamers. The Great War, present, the town enjoyed several decades quietly being successful as a seaside resort. The First World War left few physical marks on the town, however during the Second World War gun emplacements and pillboxes were built at spots along the shoreline at the southern end of the bay. The town also received bomb damage during the Second World War, with 20 people killed. The town and other nearby villages are noted for playing a part in the development of radar. After the Second World War, the town, like many other seaside resorts and indeed the country at large, suffered a recession with few people able to spare the money for holidaying. In 1972 the Swanage branch line of the railway was closed by British Rail as part of larger network-wide cutbacks. A group of local enthusiasts formed a charitable organisation with the purpose of restoring and preserving the branch line and steam and diesel locomotives to run along it, forming the Swanage Railway. Through the years Swanage has suffered from flooding, with severe flooding occurring as recently as 1990. In 1993 a large-scale flood alleviation scheme was completed, ending in the banjo-shaped new jetty outletting rainwater. This in itself created a new problem, disturbing the natural northward drift of sand up the bay, with a build-up on the southern side and reduction of sand on the northern. This reduction of sand levels exposed the foundations of parts of the seawall, threatening to damage it. As a result, the beach was improved in 2005 by construction of new green heart timber groins and the placement of 90,000 m³ of sand as beach nourishment. Governance, local governance and service provision is provided by, in order of directness, Swanage Town Council, Purbeck District Council and Dorset County Council. In the National Parliament, Swanage falls within the constituency of South Dorset. Town Council, Swanage Town Council is the parish authority based in the historic Town Hall in the High Street. Services provided by the Town Council include sport and recreational facilities, sick, beach, tourist information and promotion of tourists, caravan parks, off-street car parks, public conveniences, cemeteries, allotments. The Town Council consists of 12 elected councillors, who appoint a chairman to act as the town mayor. Working groups and committees are formed for specific concerns and functions. The council employs up to 100 staff to deliver its services, who are managed by the town clerk and various sub-managers. Geography and geology. Swanage is located in Swanage Bay in Dorset on the south coast of England at 58°36 €2 43 €3 N1 8°57 €2 30 €3 W. The bay is east-facing and is situated at the eastern end of the Isle of Purbeck, approximately 40 km south of Poole and 40 km east of Dorchester. The northern headland of the bay is formed of chalk, the southern of Purbeck limestone, with softer primarily Wealden clays forming the bay and valley in which the town is sited. The Purbeck limestone was extensively quarried with several sites to the southwest showing evidence of former quarries, particularly Tillywham Caves and Dancing Ledge, a man-made rock shelf used for loading ships. Natural erosion has formed stacks along and at the end of the northern headland, in particular the notable Old Harry rocks. In part through the process of quarrying, fossils from the dinosaur age have been discovered in the local rock, and the coastline up to and including Swanage Bay has been included in the Jurassic Coast World Heritage Site. Climate. As with the rest of the British Isles, Swanage experiences a maritime climate with warm summers and cool winters. Within this climate zone, Swanage's coastal location ensures a smaller range in annual temperature than in places further inland. The Met Office operates a weather station at the town, and temperature extremes recorded range from a 9.4 degrees Celsius in January 1963 up to 30.2 degrees Celsius during July 1976. Rainfall typically peaks in winter, and is at its lowest during summer. The town's position on an east-facing bay provides it some protection from the prevailing southwesterly winds. Economy. Swanage's primary industry is tourism, employing a large number of the working population. However, as with most tourism, the demand level is highly seasonal, and as such people looking for permanent work may have to commute to nearby towns such as Poole and Bournemouth. The town centre has a few medium-sized outlets for major retailers, a collection of local retailers, a number of cafes, bars, restaurants and pubs. The seafront has 2 amusement arcades, several ice cream outlets, fish restaurants and cafes. The town also has a number of successful small-scale cottage industries. There is a brickworks on the outskirts of the town that uses the Wealden clay found in the valley for producing bricks, and quarrying still continues to the south. Tourism. During the peak summer season many people are drawn by the town's beautiful setting, the beach and other attractions. The town has numerous hotels and guest rooms though the number has reduced slightly in recent years. Swanage has a gently sloping white sand beach which is sheltered and generally calm. The beach is well served by local businesses providing refreshments and services. For hire are deck chairs, boats, pedalows and general water sports equipment. There are amusement arcades and parks. Besides the beach, there are other local attractions including the restored Swanage Steam Railway and the Victorian Pier. The town may also be used as a base from which to visit other nearby areas of interest, such as Corfe Castle. Culture. As a small town there are no large cultural institutions based in the town, though there are a number of small clubs and groups, including the Swanage Town Band formed in the late 19th century. The largest facility in the town is the Mowlem Theatre, on the site of the former Mowlem Institute, opened in 1967. Performing a dual role as a 400-seat theatre and cinema, the complex also hosts a bar and restaurant and a small collection of shops. Typically there are around 200 film showings and 60 to 100 nights of live theatre. Festivals and events. The town hosts a number of annual festivals and events. In the summer months there is a carnival week which includes a procession of floats and dancers and several firework displays, and many other attractions and small events including live music from various bands from all over southern England, races and a regatta. The railway used to have special Thomas the Tank Engine-themed events, until the cost of running these became prohibitive, and other special services. The town also hosts successful festivals, which attract more than a purely local audience. These include a jazz festival, a folk festival, a blues festival, and there are plans for a food festival in the future. New Year's Eve has traditionally been a big event for Swanage, with the town drawing more people from surrounding areas, and people travelling considerable distances to attend. In part this has been due to attendance by employees of the nearby Wyche Farm oil processing facility. While the popularity of the event has waned somewhat from its peak in the early 1990s, with fewer oil employees in the area, there is still a large gathering each year, spilling out into the square and High Street at midnight. It is a long-standing tradition in Swanage for people to dress up for New Year's Eve to add to the atmosphere. There is no specific fancy dress theme, but costumes tend to be humorous. Churches. There are several church congregations in Swanage, many of which meet at sites of historic interest. St Mary's Anglican Church was built from 1860 and Swanage Methodist Church was built in 1886. There are also 3 more Anglican churches: Emmanuel Baptist Church, a Quakers meeting house, Roman Catholic, Salvation Army and United Reformed Church. All the churches are part of the ecumenical group known as Churches Together in Swanage and District, which also extends to churches within Langton Matravers, Kingston and Worth Matravers. The town also has the Old Stable, a Christian-led community centre in the town centre. Transport. Swanage is accessible by main road either through Warham or its bypass or via the Sandbanks Ferry which provides a shorter route to Bournemouth. There is a minor road connecting Swanage to Lulworth via Corfe Castle but this passes through a military firing range and is closed during firing exercises. The main bus services are provided by Wilts and Dorset. Numbers 40 and 44 run between Swanage and Poole, and the number 50 runs between Swanage and Bournemouth via the Sandbanks Ferry. Double-deck open-top buses are used on the Poole-Bournemouth to Swanage routes in the summer months. The buses on these routes are branded as Purbeck Breezers. Swanage has seen serious cuts to its bus services in recent years, reducing the frequency of services to Poole and Warham and much reducing links to the nearby villages of Harmon's Cross and Worth Matravers. Swanage has a restored heritage steam railway which operates for most of the year. At present services only go as far as Norden. The physical connection between the Swanage Railway and the main line has been restored but is currently used only by occasional charter trains. The first of these took place on April 1, 2009 and there will be approximately 6 during 2014. In February 2013 the Swanage Railway obtained a government grant of £1.47 million to reintroduce regular services to the main line at Warham. Limited ferry services also run between Poole Quay and Swanage Pier. These are used by Swanage residents for shopping trips to Poole's large shopping centre, and also by tourists in Poole for day trips into Swanage. The nearest mainline railway station to Swanage is Warham, with South West trains services westward to Dorchester South and Weymouth and eastwards towards Poole, Bournemouth, Southampton Central and London Waterloo. National Express coaches operate a daily coach service from Swanage to London. Education. Schools in Purbeck did until recently operate as part of a 3-tier comprehensive pyramid system. Under this system, the Purbeck Secondary School in Warham was fed by the various middle schools in the Purbeck district, including the former Swanage Middle School on the edge of the town at Herston. These in turn were fed by the district's primary schools. However, in November 2010 a move to change to a 2-tier system was approved following a proposal from Dorset County Council in May of that year. This culminated in the closure of Purbeck's middle schools in September 2013. As a further result, the district's primary schools, including the 4 in Swanage, are required to accommodate children through 2 additional school years. These cover years 1 to 6, with children moving on to secondary education from year 7 onwards. Concern from parents and teachers following the original announcement of these plans prompted the formation of the Education Swanage Group, who put together a proposal to form a free school in the town to provide secondary education. Having successfully completed several rounds of reviews with the Department for Education, Education Swanage's proposal was finally accepted in October 2011. The Swanage School opened in September 2013, temporarily located at Harrow House, an international language school within the town, until the new building became ready. Pupils moved to the new building in Easter 2014. A large private language school in the town, Harrow House, caters for foreign students. The school, founded in 1969, has a large white pressurized dome which serves as a sports hall, which is visible from some distance. Adjacent to Harrow House is Purbeck View School, owned by Cambion Education. This school caters to the needs of autistic children and teenagers and provides boarding facilities. The town has a library in the town centre housed in a distinctive 1960s octagonal glass and Purbeck stone building. A small museum with artifacts and displays recounting the town and surrounding area's history is located at the square on the seafront. The museum had previously been housed in the historical Tithe Barn building, however mounting maintenance costs forced the relocation of much of the collection to the new site, with the remainder in storage. Public services. The town is served by a small fire station provided by Dorset Fire and Rescue Service and located centrally within the town. Swanage Police Station, originally opened in 1899 and operated by Dorset Police, closed in November 2012. Swanage Hospital is a small cottage hospital provided by NHS Dorset with an accompanying ambulance station provided by the South Western Ambulance Service. The hospital has a minor injuries unit, providing basic 24 emergency care, inpatient and outpatient departments, an operating theatre, radiography, physiotherapy and occupational therapy departments. Swanage Medical Practice provides GP services. Given the coastal location, the town is also served by an RNLI lifeboat station and a HM Coast Guard post. Sport and recreation. Swanage is represented in a number of sports including football, rugby, cricket, croquet, hockey, sailing and rowing. Swanage Town and Herston Football Club, who play in the Dorset Premier League, have a dedicated football ground with limited covered seating and associated social club. Swanage and Warham Rugby Club, who play in the South West 1 East League, are based in neighbouring Warham. Swanage and Warham Hockey Club have ladies, men's and mixed teams. The ladies play in the Channel 1 and 2 West Leagues, the men in the Hampshire League Division 4 and the mixed team in the Mixed Division 5. Swanage Cricket Club has teams in both the Dorset Saturday and Sunday leagues, each in Division 1. The town's croquet club is also based at the cricket club. The sea cliffs and quarries to the west of Swanage provide excellent venues for rock climbing. The surrounding areas make for excellent walking, and as such the town is a popular destination for hikers who use the town as base. Many beauty spots are in walkable distance, while never being too far from refreshment. Parks. Swanage has a King George's Field near the centre of town in memorial to King George V, which includes large playing fields, as well as skate park facilities and a high-tech play area, both funded by community groups. There are plans also for the building of a new sports pavilion at the park, to replace the previous building which had been demolished due to safety concerns. Towards the eastern end of town is Days Park, which includes a playing field, play area and gardens. Water sport. Swanage Bay provides a well-sheltered environment for a range of water sports, including swimming, kayaking, canoeing, sailing, windsurfing and jet skiing. Scuba diving takes place under the piers and at nearby coastal wrecks. Swanage is considered by many to be the home of British scuba diving. It is one of the most popular seawater training sites for dive schools and clubs to take trainee divers due to the sheltered conditions within the bay. The dive school situated on the pier was the first dive school in Great Britain. Swanage Sailing Club was established in 1935 and is located immediately south of the pier. Swanage Sea Rowing Club, formed in 2001, has been highly successful and currently has over 100 members and 4 Cornish pilot gigs of its own, funded through donations. Competitions take place at regattas, of which the club attends several per year, including the World Pilot Gig Championships held on the Isles of Scilly. There are 2 public swimming pools, one at the Swanage Bayview campsite and another at Holwell Caravan Park. Both offer swimming lessons and aquarobic sessions. Twin towns. Swanage is twinned with Ra-1/4 in Germany. Notable residents. Between 1934 and 1936, Swanage was the home of artist Paul Nash, who produced a considerable number of paintings and photographs during this period. Cultural references. Swanage is stated as the hometown of John Cleese's character Basil Fawlty in the sitcom Fawlty Towers. James Blunt's video Carry You Home, and Coldplay's video Yellow were both filmed in Swanage. The first episode of the second series of British comedy, The Inbetweeners, is set mainly in Swanage. The episode is titled The Field Trip, although this episode was filmed in Littlehampton, not actually Swanage. In 1997, a 18.7 km diameter crater on Mars was named after Swanage. In literature, Swanage is called Knowlesy and Thomas Hardy unregistered trademark S novels. In The Hand of Ethelberta it is described as a seaside village lying snug within two headlands as between a finger and thumb. In E. M. Forster's Howard's End, Margaret and Mr. Wilcox first kiss there at the end of an evening's stroll, and the town is mentioned frequently throughout the book. The Lady Margaret, one of the linked short stories in Keith Roberts' Pavan, has Swanage as the place where Jesse Strange meets an old school friend and fails to establish a relationship with his childhood sweetheart Margaret. International artist and writer, Philip Sugden was born and raised in Swanage. He is known for his drawings and paintings of India and Tibet, and his books entitled, Visions from the Fields of Merit and White Lotus. See also, List of places on the Jurassic Coast, Swanage Rail and Bus Station, List of Dorset beaches, local villages, Corfe Castle, Harmon's Cross, Kingston, Purbeck, Dorset, Langton Matravers, Worth Matravers, Notes. References, Luer, David and Smale, Dennis. Swanage Past. Chichester, Phillimore and Company Limited, Cooper, Isle of Purbeck Revealed. Bath, James Pembroke Publishing. Hardy, Thomas. The Hand of Ethelberta The Literature Network. Available from http://www.onlineliterature.com. Hand Ethelberta. Wardlock and Company. Swanage and South Dorset, Illustrated Guidebooks London, Wardlock and Company Limited. External links, Town Council website, Purbeck District Council.